Hello, how are you? I'm doing well, thanks. It's Saturday morning, almost 8 o'clock, and I'm in Huntington, West Virginia at the lovely Pullman Plaza Hotel in downtown Huntington, which I should say the used to be lovely Pullman Plaza. It has seen better days, kids. It's really run down. Um, I'm in a little office off the lobby, and I don't think the office gets used very much. There's a bicycle over here, and I don't know why. But what I do know is that there's a little friend attached to the bicycle handlebars. Can you see it? I don't want to get too close because it's a spider, and Freddie no likey the spiders. So I'm going to sit right over here. But if you see me kind of peeking over every now and then, you'll know why. All right, let's get the party started. And I'll try to talk quickly because like my little friend over there. I'm recording this lecture and I'll record a few lectures for several reasons. This is what educators call flipping the classroom, and it's been a proven technique for a lot of students that instead of lecturing during class and having you go off on your own to do stuff, the homework, for the most part, or at least part of it, will be the lecture, and then you'll do a little bit of stuff, but then when you come back into the classroom, we'll apply it together, so you get more guided um, help while you're applying. So we'll do this. I'll do this a few times in the semester. Here are the reasons why this works so well for education and for students. Number one, if you miss class, then you didn't miss the lecture because it's been recorded for you. So that's a good thing. Second thing, and I've got some little notes down here every now and then I gotta look at. Second thing, it allows you to rewind. I guess you're not really rewinding. It's not a tape. Go back in case you miss something. Let's face it, it's hard to pay attention to a guy named Fred for anything longer than about 30 seconds. So, you zone out, and then once you realize that, you're able to stop and go back and listen. Third thing is that it allows you to take breaks. You don't have to listen to me all the way through. Your roommate comes in, says, "Yo, uptown, let's go." I'm going to lose that face off every time, and I should lose that face off. So totally understand. So you pause me, and you come back to me later. Finally, Terrence and I have so many things we want to get off our brain to you, and they give us only two 80-minute time periods every week, which is just not enough. We got a lot of stuff that we want to tell you. So this is a kind of another bonusy way of me doing that. Didn't think I was going to say bonusy today, but I did. There it is. Today's lesson is the one that is the best one I can give you. It doesn't matter if you're a stratcom, journalism, marketing, PR. I don't care what your major is. It doesn't matter. What I'm going to talk about today is how you read well, and then how you can transfer what you've read now that you fully understand it, and then write well. So, well, my mom's up. Hi, Mom. So, this is kind of keys to unlocking the secrets of becoming the best communicator that you can be. What's up, Mom? I'm recording a class for my students. You want to say hi?
What you doing?
Say hi.
Hi.
This is not. This is. Oh wait. Let me. Hold on. There we go. This is Donna Reeder. Hi, everybody.
Hello.
Watch out! There's a spider right there.
Where?
On the bike.
Oh, that's nothing.
Yeah. See, that's nothing. Yeah.
Okay.
It's gonna kill me. I know it. Anyway, these are the skills I'm recording for class.
Oh, okay.
No. Oh gosh, she's gonna kill it. You don't want to see what just happened. That's the worst thing ever. It's angry now, and it's gonna come out of the trash
Okay.
can and get me.
This is what we do with it.
Oh gosh.
We bag it up.
All right. I'm like all sweaty now. I'm nervous.
It's all gone.
Thanks, Mom.
You're welcome.
See, I'm 45 years old. And Mom still helps. Should I just stop and start again? Nah, let's let it go. Let's rock. Anyway, today's lesson are the skills to make you better at reading, and then better at reading will make you better at writing. Remember what Faulkner said: read everything you can, and then write, and you'll be a lot better. All of you are studying. All of you have a major that asks the question: how do I get my message across the best way possible, the most effective way possible? It's the same question journalists ask. It's what in Terrence language. Initially it's angles. What's my angle gonna be? That's the first question you have to ask. So when I go through these skills, we're going to talk about angles, but also just other skills that are going to help you in reading and in writing. You need skills in anything you do. If you want to be the greatest baseball player ever, you need five of them. There are five. The greatest baseball players ever are called five-tool players. They have five specific things they do extremely well. Can you think of them? What a baseball player could do? Number one, not in any particular order, they're fast. They can run really fast. Two, they can catch. They're really good at defense. A third one also deals with defense. They can throw really hard, so or far. And then the last two deal with offense. They hit for average, so they get on base a lot, and they hit for power. They hit a lot of home runs. There have been very few true five-tool players in the history of Major League Baseball. Ken Griffey Jr. was one of them. Same thing with golf, if we're going to stick with sports. I coached golf in high school, and so I know a lot about how to get somebody to go from not hitting the ball well to hitting the ball well. When I was growing up, my dad and I would go to driving ranges, and we would watch these people on the range just hitting these horrible shots. They'd have these huge buckets of balls, like 200 balls, and they're just bad swing after bad swing. They're just chopping down on that ball. And my dad would look at him, and he wasn't being mean, but he would say, "Look at those people. They're just practicing a bad swing. Why would you do that? Why would you spend all that money and that time doing the same bad act over and over and over again? You're never going to get better. In fact, your muscles are remembering that badness." So we don't want you to do that too when you are reading. We want you to develop these worthwhile skills when you read, and then that's also going to help you when you write. So today's lesson is the most important one I can give you. It's what Martin Luther King Jr. mastered, Abraham Lincoln, Aristotle, all the great thinkers, all the people who really understood society, understood this acronym that we're going to go through. Let me get to my little notes here. I came across the acronym when I first started teaching, and it transformed the way that I thought, because I was always good at reading, but I really didn't know why, and I was doing some of what the acronym said. I just wasn't doing all of it. Wasn't even thinking about all of it. But this took all of the guesswork out of the way, really, and allowed me to say, oh, okay, here are the things that I am going to think about while I'm reading. And from that, I started to be able to say really smart stuff about the things that I was reading. And then I could write about it well, because now I understood what that author was doing. I taught when I was teaching high school and I started to apply this, I started to see my students transform the way that they read and the way that they wrote. I took over the AP program at the school, and there are some things you never forget, and I'll never forget the numbers. When I took over the year before, the average AP score on that, on the 5-point AP test was 3.2 at our high school. The year after I finished, it was 4.4. The next year, it was 4.6. Next year, it was 4.7. And I never got it higher than 4.7. But that's pretty good, considering all the students who take it. It was a radical shift in AP scores, and it was because of the acronym. So I'd like for you to open it now. It's in Canvas. If you go to Files, you can pause me if you want. Go to Files, and you're going to look for it. You might even know it already if you took AP, because I know it's used all over. And the acronym is called SOAPSTONE. So go ahead and open that up. Pause me if you need to, because I'm going to keep talking, and I'm going to go through each of the acronyms with you. SOAPSTONE is great if you want to say something significant, if you want to succeed as a communicator, and this should sit well with all of you. It has nothing to do with school. It'll help every situation in your life. All right, so let's look at them. The first S is subject. What is this? What do I want to say? That's important. You have to know exactly what you want to talk about. But there's more to subject than just that. Subject deals with structure. What's my lead going to be? And this goes into angles that Terrence has been talking about. But how am I going to start this? Am I going to start with a joke? Am I going to start by telling an anecdote, telling a little story before I get to the main point, or am I just going to come right out and say it? So think of a life situation here. You've got a really bad grade in high school, right? A really bad test score in high school or in grade school. And you know your parents are going to eventually find out, so you want to tell them. Are you going to tell them right away? Are you going to bring up a different subject and then eventually get to that subject when you try to get them in a good mood? That's what I would do. You have to decide how you want to approach that subject. It's like breaking up with somebody. Do you just come right out and say, it's not working out, it's not you, it's me? Or are you going to kind of ease into that eventual moment where you say the big words that it's time to move on? That's structure. Structure also deals with internal structure, how you set up your paragraphs and your sentences, the flow of your writing. And it also deals with the examples you're going to use throughout your story. Who are the when I get those examples, in what order am I going to put them to be most effective? So that's subject. Occasion is time and place, and I give an example. Green Beer Day at Miami University is the best occasion to discuss major issue of drinking on college campuses or Miami's campus. It's the perfect pretext to talking about college drinking. You wouldn't, now is not a good time to write an article about Miami baseball. It's fall. Baseball's in the spring. So now's the time to focus more on what's happening now. So, the Miami student maybe should have had, a really good preview story of the Miami Marshall football game in Tuesday's paper because it's relevant now. So you have to think, what's happening right now? And more, you have to jump on it right away because people read stuff, see things are happening, and they want to read things about it right away. And now stuff can get old that very day or the next day. So always think about time and place. A part of Soapstone is audience. So what do I know about my audience? You could have several different types of audiences out there, but who's my main audience and how do I cater to that audience with my specific examples? I'm not going to bring up Taylor Swift to my parents as an example for something because they probably know who Taylor Swift is, but I would go back to like Johnny Mathis, Dean Martin, Sinatra, those things. They would know those things. The P is your purpose. What's your goal with this? Are you trying to persuade, inform, entertain? You always have to think of your goal with your story. And then the next S is speaker. These are all the different attributes of the person who is doing the speaking or the writing: age, race, gender. If the person is live, what's the person dressed like? These are the things that matter to us when we are reading. If you are reading Sean Hannity or listening to Sean Hannity, he has certain attributes that you know about him. And if you are in the same camp as he is, when it comes to politics, then Sean Hannity is a guy that you're immediately going to listen to. If you disagree with Sean Hannity politically, then it pretty much doesn't matter what he says. Just who he is going to negatively affect how you feel about what he is saying. And then finally, tone. What's the tone of your message going to be? Formal, informal, sarcastic, irreverent? Usually you want to stick with a consistent tone. You can say the same thing in a completely different tone. For example, when you were a kid and your mom